This Three Beards Media podcast may contain mature themes, and if you're not down with that, we got 3 words for you. Like the podcast. Nailed it!
Drop it.
Welcome back to another edition of the Ball Don't Lie podcast. We are in season 4, E4, our 4th episode here, our new home with Three Beards Media. We're enjoying our time here. It's been a great marriage so far. We are brought to you by the Revelton Distilling Company. And I'm here always with my buddy and partner in crime here, Justin Smool. And we have a special guest today. Singer-songwriter, Texas Longhorn apologist, Green Bay Packers apologist, Andy Walker.
Howdy. Thank you guys for having me. What's up?
Thanks for being here, bud. No, we're having a little technical difficulties here, and I was telling Justin, I was like, the first time he was supposed to come to Ames, he missed a flight too. And apparently
I got extremely intoxicated the night before, and I woke up to about 40 texts from Ted going, "Are you on the plane?" And I was in my bed, so I didn't make that flight. But I have been to Ames twice, and I am officially 0-2 in Ames, so I hate that town. Love Iowa, hate Ames.
You are 0-2 in that town.
I'm 0-2 there. It's bad.
You get a sweet picture though, and I think we use that.
Oh, dude, it's awesome. It kind of went viral in my eyes. I loved it.
Sitting about 6 rows behind the Iowa State bench. It was
great because y'all did the whiteout, and I asked Ted. I was like, "Hey, what's going on?" He's like, "Yeah, it's a big whiteout." So of course I wore all black, and the guy from Texas, photographer, he took a picture. I'm the only guy within 100 feet of us in all black, and I'm just.
It was wild with the hooking up. It was pretty funny.
But
well, thanks for being here, bud. I know you got a big game tonight, but how we usually do this too, we're gonna give a little recap of last week, and then we'll get into our college picks that we call our appetizers, and then we'll take a quick break, and then we'll get into the main course. But last week recap, I stayed cold in college football, 1-3-1. Again, we don't hide from our records in this podcast. 4-9-1 in the year, 3-2 in the NFL, putting me at 9-7 on the year. Smool, you got hot last week. 6-3 in college football puts you at 12-8 on the season. 5-3 in the NFL, 10-8-1 the season, and more importantly, we went 3-2 in our Circa Millions play, putting us at 10-5 on the season. Should be sitting okay in those standings. Like we said, you always want to have a website with your 5 picks there. 3 W's makes a website. Anything better than that's good. Anything less, and it doesn't work. So, But listen, you went with Iowa State last week. They got off the snipe, got a cover. Okie State's really bad. Like they're
not good.
And they're bad enough that Gundy might be a walk-away deal. It just kind of has a weird feeling down there. Yeah. Or maybe it's just he's run his time out.
It still really bothers me as you call him Okie State.
They say OK State down there.
OK State, dude. Just read the word OK.
Weird.
I've never heard that.
That's what I said. I've never heard called OK State. I was like, why do you guys say OK State up here? I'm like,
I grew up 12 miles from Oklahoma. It's definitely OK State.
Because that's what.
So have you ever heard like a pet peeve of mine when people say U of A and it's referring to University of Arizona?
No, haven't heard that. I just call them Zona. I've never heard of UA.
Yeah, I think that's weird too.
That is weird. Well, it's like people here calling Tennessee the real UT. No, it's not a thing. That's TU. That's not. It's Tennessee University. It's not the University of anything.
Yeah, I bet that argument goes over.
Hashtag Rocky Flop.
I have that game on my card this week.
Do you? All right. Well.
I got my push in college football was a pretty lucky push there because I got Ohio State -3, and I can't believe they sent the kicker back out because there was 1 second on. That extra point got me the push.
Yeah.
It was actually a very big deal for me, gambling reason why. But last weekend was my first weekend in the red. I've been hurting the bookie a little bit, and I got a little healthy on Sunday back, but I got a very slow start. But other than that, your Hawks got your Hawks. So Smule is he used to be a big Iowa fan. He hates Ferentz. He has denounced them about when they got beat in the Big Ten championship game in 2015. So how happy were you to see them put a goose egg up? And
Yeah, let's just get into this game. This was perfect. It was so funny preseason, right? I sat there and listened to all these clowns tell me, "Oh my gosh, Cade McNamara coming. Ferentz is just gonna." Guys, do you not actually understand or watch football? Like, it's Ferentz. He has his puppets. There's strings attached. And it doesn't. He could make Tom Brady look horrible.
It's fascinating being a fan of like the Big 12 and living in SEC country at how anyone can be an apologist for Ferentz at this point. Like
Oh, you'd be amazed.
I know, and that's what's bad is like following guys with Teddy's friends that I've known him for years, and like following guys that are always fans, and they're these huge Hawks fans, and like, oh, it's not him, it's this, and I'm like, at a certain point, you just have to go, it's him. Like. The only thing consistent about that program is him, and they can't score at all.
See, and here's the thing. Here's what's going to happen because they're still going to win like 9 games,
Yeah.
and so then the dummy Hawk fans will say, "Well, hey, we're happy winning 8.
Yeah, we won 9 games.
Guess what? You beat Rutgers, you beat Illinois, you beat Purdue, you beat Northwestern, you beat Minnesota, you beat Nebraska. Like that. Okay, I mean, I could find a lot of actually, us 3 could go win 8 or 9 games.
Yeah,
that means nothing to me. That means nothing, and it should mean nothing to anybody.
no.
You know,
I actually had Iowa on the card last week. I expected it to be. I didn't expect them to give up that many points. I thought it was going to be like a 17-3 game, 17-10.
They're just not fun to watch. Like
no,
like, as a person who doesn't live in Big Ten country, like I just gravitate. If I'm watching Big Ten, I'm watching Ohio State. I'm watching Michigan. I would never be like, oh, I was on. Let me flip it on. Like I would. It's just I don't care
if you
who
wanted a nap. If you wanted a nap,
exactly.
I mean, jeez. No, and Ferentz had the audacity in the press conference to say, well, we couldn't stop them defensively. Well, dude, you had like 4 first downs. The defense played 87 minutes.
Yeah, what are we doing?
You notoriously have one of the best defenses in the country every year, and you threw him under the bus only because your stupid son is the OC. Give me a break.
Yeah, what is that? Like, when's he's got to let him, like, how Thanksgiving's going to be awkward.
So did you see what the old AD, so the old AD probably lost his job supporting this, but in the last year, they put a performance thing in for Brian Ferentz. He has to average 24.5 points a game this year to keep his job. So you're numb to it, but so that's all that's talked about up here on local radio and Sports Talk Radio is this amount of points he's got to get to.
It's slowly making a national stage too.
It is. It's.
I haven't heard that. I got to look into that.
You don't put that in it's weird, but yeah, he had this performance thing this year.
So basically, it's pretty much summed up that everyone except his dad wants him out. Everyone.
I mean, the state it's bad. Like it's bad. Like even the Kirk apologists hate Brian. Like there's nobody defending Brian.
Yeah.
Zero. It's bad.
No. Well, here I'll just lead off then.
Yeah, I got 5 plays. Let me go through.
I have that game. I'm taking Sparty plus 12.5.
Are you really?
Yeah, here the only reason it's not that I like Sparty, but I don't like them all. But here's why. I'm giving them a little bit of pass because I would argue they've had maybe the biggest distraction in college football with this Mel Tucker issue to start the season. And it's over now. It's done. It's wiped clean. I think the guys can just go out and play football. And, it's off the shoulders. Sometimes this is a huge relief right in the locker room. And there's no pressure. There's no additional anything. They get him out of here. I don't know. If Iowa, obviously, the biggest reason how Iowa does cover these numbers is if they score defensively. If they score defensively, I'm probably in trouble.
But they do
and they do a lot. That's all. That's the only way they score.
Right. It is.
Special
it
teams,
is
defense and special teams.
But I'm strictly just relying on that. I just think the pressure's off. Michigan State can go out and do it. Yeah.
I'm staying away from it, but I'll check.
Yeah, I'm not touching that one. I'm not. I mean, like, and it's just it's a weird line. 12.5. It doesn't feel like a lot. It feels very coverable, but like I just can't trust that whole situation. And East Lansing's just scary.
Sure. It's about three field goals and a safety. You'll get Iowa to 11. It might be 11-0. You might cover that way.
That's great.
Dude, Iowa scored a game last year. They scored 7. They won like 7-3 against somebody, and they had no touchdowns. It was 2 safeties and a field goal, I think, right? Something weird like that.
Yeah.
All right, I got. This is weird. You're probably gonna make fun of me. I think Nebraska is gonna cover 17 at home. I really do. I don't know why. I'm not a Nebraska fan. You guys, everybody knows that. I'm on record.
You hate it.
I hate Nebraska. I have my yearly under wins bet when I push it down to 6 this year.
And see, like Ted, I think you're in the same boat. I'm a big Rule guy. I like Matt Rule. I think he's a program flipper. I think he'll be okay, but I just still think they're maybe 2, but at least 1 year away.
I see this being like a 31-17 gross backdoor late gimme. They're not going to win this game, but I don't need to win the game. I need to cover 17. So I'm taking Nebby.
This is on my card too.
Did it really?
Yep, I full agree. Here's the thing here too. Michigan plays so slow paced. They're so slow. They're so methodical.
They're okay winning 20-3.
For sure. Yeah, they can win 10-0. They're not worried about points.
Michigan hasn't covered a game yet this year.
Interesting.
I'll throw one out there. I really like the LSU Ole Miss over a lot because I think they score a ton of points. It's at 67.5, which sounds like a lot, but LSU's hit 44 times. Ole Miss has hit it 3 times. But I also in that game, I think I'm going to ride LSU -2.5 in Oxford.
Well, we'll just go right here because we disagree. Because I have Ole Miss plus.
Oh, here we go.
Card. I don't. This is a coach. So Small and I are big Lane Train guys.
Yeah, I love Lane.
I think it's a bounce back spot a little bit. I actually think they're going to move the ball. I actually like your overplay too. I'll probably trail that, but we will disagree on this. We might have to make a side bet. I have Ole Miss plus 2.5.
See, man, I think my problem is I'm. And like I said, down here, I got a bunch of buddies from Louisiana, and I've been watching them. And I just, first off, I think the over is going to happen. I'm all about 67.5. And I actually was at 66.5 on Monday, and I should have grabbed it there. But, man, I just, for some reason, Ole Miss just doesn't feel like it. Like, I know they can score, but they also can't. I just feel like LSU gets one more stop. And
I still can't believe Sanders from Okie State is sitting on their bench there. I still can't believe he transferred to go sit. That's just weird to me.
Yeah, then they have like 3 guys that were top 5 guys coming out of high school sitting. Like, it's crazy.
Super weird.
Wow.
What else you got?
Yeah, we'll have to side bet that, Ted. I'll take the Tigers 2.5.
All right.
All right. I you know me. So I had those 2. I just got a bunch of ugly games no one's going to watch. So
let's hear them.
Baylor plus 12.5 at Central Florida. I just think big overreaction here. Baylor got blown out to your team last week there, Jordan. And you know what? Deservingly so. Texas is a great team. By the way, I actually had them money line against Alabama this year. So,
dude, I took them in the points. I told Ted when the year started, I said, take the horns and the points. Take them.
I love.
I didn't. I put Bama on my card week 1.
Yeah. And he texted me Saturday at halftime. Texas was up 10 on that game, and he goes, I went the other way. And I go, not my fault.
So anyway, in regards to Baylor, I just think, you kind of throw that game out the window. Texas is really good. Go 2 weeks back here. Baylor played Utah at home. They were catching 7. They made a game of it, actually. There was a close loss. I just think too much is being factored into that game last week. Central Florida just gave up 44 to Kansas State. Not really an offensive juggernaut. No. This just seems like too many points to be laying.
I like that. I've actually got Baylor on my card too. So okay. I think they bounce back because I think last week it was the last time Texas goes into Waco. I think there was a lot riding on that game. And honestly, the Texas team, I mean, obviously I'm a fan and I'm a homer, but as far as the trenches go, I'm not scared of anyone anymore. Like we went in Tuscaloosa, we did that. The only team that I'm worried about offensively, offensive line, Michigan's offensive line is really, really good if we happen to run into them, and Georgia, obviously. But like when it comes down to those games, the games Texas should win, we're finally able to play big boy ball. Like we're finally able to go.
You got to come play in Ames in November.
Yeah. It'll be fine. We'll hand the ball to Jonathan Brooks 25 times, and he'll go for 250 and 3 tutties. It'll be great. But I will say this. I do have Baylor because I think last week was just like an emotional. It was the last time Texas got a hold of them, and I think Dave Aranda is going to look at him and go, hey, clean the slate. We weren't going to win that game. Here we go. Let's go into the UCF. So I've got Baylor too.
All right.
Good.
I got Auburn plus 14 in the hook versus Georgia. Just a weird game with this too, to where
Yeah.
I think again I don't expect Auburn to win. It's just another dirty plug your nose. Like this might have to be a late field goal covered of being down 16 and some gross shit happens and they lose by 13.
We disagree. This is total, and I don't play these games.
You never play these big spreads.
No, I never do, and I'm laying it with Georgia here. I just think Auburn sucks.
Oh, well,
I just think they're bad.
I don't have that game, but I think that game I was looking at the line and it scared me because it just felt like a lot, but it also feels like this could be the game where Georgia goes, hey, we're still Georgia.
Yes, that's what I'm banking on.
Yeah, I'm not trying to scare you, Ted, but this feels like the game where like, oh, Auburn, oh, you're ranked, oh, you're coming in here, oh, they're only giving you 2 scores. Here, we're gonna drop 50.
Yeah,
and that game scared me.
If Georgia drops 50, then they're gonna lose by 30.
I don't like it that Ted's against me here though, because generally I would play the other side.
You're always on the side.
I know.
My side, at least. Yeah. All right. So you got Georgia on the card. I got the opposite. You got any? How many more plays you got, Jordan?
College-wise, I've got two more.
Right.
I'm not touching. I will say this. I want to take Texas 16.5. Kansas coming into Austin, but I hate betting my teams. I'm just not going to do it, so I'm not going to touch it. But I think that's a good play just because I think Kansas, they're 4-0, and you guys probably disagree, and you disagree because I'm on here, I'm sure. But I'm not going to touch that. The one I do love a lot is I love Washington -18 at U of A at Zona.
Yeah,
I like that one. I like Michael Penix, man. I think he's the real deal. I think if you're looking straight numbers, and I know he's at Washington and nobody gives a shit about Washington, if you look at numbers, he's the Heisman right now. Like he's the guy's playing out of his mind.
I agree.
So I think 18, I think they're going to go into Arizona and I think they're going to roll.
Okay.
Well,
that's a big line.
The reason I don't want Penix is because my wife started like really getting into football and watched all the time about 5-6 years ago, and she hates lefty quarterbacks. Doesn't like watching.
Yeah. Oh, I do too. Trust me, it looks weird, but do what they did with Tua. Flip the video.
She won't draft Tua in fantasy football because he's left-handed. Because she likes to follow her. She likes to follow her players in red zone in those games, and she won't draft him because she hates watching lefties. So
dude, I'm telling you, it doesn't make any sense for me. I can't do it. But that's my big line that I liked was Washington at Zona minus the 18.
That's a lot.
Okay. I'll go here. So I'm actually Ted. I'm taking Iowa State plus 20. It's ugly, but I think OU's a little overrated. I'm not like last week's win didn't impress me.
Jordan's not going to disagree with you there.
I agree. I totally agree.
But here's the thing, right? We already know. I mean, he said we're
terrible. They can be overrated. We're so bad.
Yeah, I get it. No, they are. We're horrible. I know that, but like. The Red River rivalry's on deck. It's next week. It's a huge look ahead spot. I don't think OU gives a rat's about this game. Yeah. I really don't.
Well, I mean, if you're looking at it the right way, my buddy's an OU fan, and he was like, I'm really worried about Iowa State. He goes, I'm not worried about losing. He goes, but I don't want to bet my team, OU. He goes, because they're looking ahead. We beat them last year 49-0. They're looking at Dallas already.
Yeah.
And they're like, and what's bad is we're better now than we were last year. So there's no way. And if Venables is 0-2 against Sark, and it's 70-something to 10. That's such a bad look. I think they look ahead too. I didn't touch this game, but I don't hate the play.
Yeah, and Iowa State, look, Ted, here's the thing. We both agree. They have a good defense, and I think it's going to hang him in there. And even if it got ugly and out of control, I still think the back door is live.
Yeah.
So
Campbell's not going to stop. If they're down 27, Campbell's going to go down and get something.
They only scored 20 at Cincinnati last week. Yeah. It wasn't like OU's this offensive jug. I mean, and I remember that game against SMU earlier. It was a 3-point. It was 14-11 going into the fourth quarter. I don't think OU's as great as what they're being made out to be. Truthfully,
yeah.
So I'm gonna take it plus 20. Plug your nose.
All right. Well, I have another big line here. You know who's – and I think Herbie said this last week. His favorite next five – not the next five, what do they call it? Group of five. Tulane's really good.
Yeah.
Like, really good. Yeah. And they got to start winning with some style. They're 21.5. I wish it didn't have the hook on. It's rusty on the background. They're playing UAB, and I think this is a game they might win by 40. Because they need to start winning all those type of games to try to get that.
Sure.
Dude, UAB's only been back for 2 years, 3 years? They lost the program for a while.
It's been a couple now, but I think Tulane's going to blow the doors off them here. Like I expect them.
Tulane's good, man. They're fun to watch. There's actually one of my good buddies.
They're fun to watch.
He's a Tulane. They're fun to watch.
So I got Tulane minus 21.5. Don't need to spend a whole lot of time there. I think it's going to be a blowout.
All right.
I got one for you. It's another overplay. Absolutely love. This is if I had to lock something, this is what I'd lock this week.
Oh, here
I
we go.
love Hartman and Leonard going over 51.5. Duke at Notre Dame over 51.5. That feels so low to me, and I trust both those quarterbacks to go. I trust Notre Dame to go get 30 at least. You know what I mean? And I think it's a close game, so I like the over.
Even
over.
after last week's just offense.
Yeah, but it's different. Like I feel like first off, Duke defensively isn't even close to Ohio State. Let's not pretend.
Sure.
Hartman's gonna go for 3 scores. Like I think he's got something to prove. But I think over 51.5. That's the one. I wouldn't be surprised if it don't hit in the first half. That feels like a lot. I love
Now
it.
you got me curious about it.
I love it. I mean, if you look at it, obviously Notre Dame runs into Ohio State. We knew that was going to be physical. It's going to be smash mouth. Here it is. It's a 3-point game. They should have. But this feels more like every play that almost worked against Ohio State is going to work against Duke and it's at home. It's at Notre Dame. They might throw up 40 by themselves. I really think over 51.5 is the play.
Small never plays over under, so he'll probably follow you just because.
I will. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
I mean, doesn't 51 feel super low like that? I got that Monday, so I don't know if it's moved, but I did get that Monday.
Sure.
All right.
I'll follow you.
All right. Well, I'm out of college plays here, Small. So we'll
Yeah,
let
me
you.
too.
Okay, I got a few more. I got a big card again. All right. South Carolina plus 12.5. I alluded to it earlier at Tennessee. I think Tennessee is extremely overrated. You know, that loss to Florida to me speaks volumes of how
I had Florida money line, baby. Let's go. It was great.
Yeah, Ted and I both had Florida that game.
Well, I'll cut you off. I forgot a play. I actually have Florida. It was +1 before the pod started. They're my last play in the card against Kentucky.
Oh, okay.
When that line, my neighbor's a Tennessee fan. He's born and raised in here, and he's a Tennessee fan. And I said, "How do you feel about going into Gainesville?" He goes, "Well, we never play well there." He goes, "And I still don't trust the quarterback. He can throw it 85 yards, but he can't throw it 15."
Sure.
And that's just what it is. So I had Florida in that game.
You have Florida too. So
Yeah.
all right. So you have South Carolina +4.5.
12.5.
12.5.
12.5. Oh,
Yeah.
That's a big line.
Yeah, big line. So I'd see. I got a couple more here. I'll keep going. West Virginia +13, +14 at TCU.
Yeah, TCU's
TCU.
defense is Swiss cheese. They're terrible.
Yeah, no good. I like West Virginia's coming off a nice little upset win over Texas Tech last week. So I hope they continue the momentum. I don't think TCU should be laying double digits to anybody in conference. So
I agree.
and then let's see, one more. The game that might have about 5 viewers, I'm going to lay it with Cal -12.5 over Arizona State. And Arizona State was all out last week against USC. I just think they have injuries across the board. Not that anyone cares. I just think Cal's a little bit better. Arizona State's done. This team's horrible.
Hey, this makes me feel good. I just looked at that line. I had Washington at 18. The line's up to 20.5. So that makes me feel good.
Okay,
Nice.
there you go. Good grab.
Did you say you want Florida on your card this week too, Jordan?
No, I said I had Florida against Tennessee.
Okay. Well, I'm putting Florida on the card this week. I'm +1. It's between there to pick them at Kentucky. I think they're better than Kentucky. I really do.
Is Kentucky good? I'm so lost.
I don't know. They're undefeated. I get it. I like their coach, but he's got Iowa roots, so I'm sure Small hates him too.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I don't know Kentucky. I mean, being down here, dude. I mean, obviously being nationwide, Kentucky's a basketball school. I'll never trust them. Never.
Well, I thought Texas is a basketball.
Not anymore. They are.
We're a basketball school, baby. Let's go. I was in Kansas City. I remember.
God.
Hey, Ted, you know what? Small, my favorite compliment I got last year was obviously we lose to Miami in the Elite Eight and lost a 10-point lead in the game. We left Kansas City that weekend, and Texas played out of their mind, beat Kansas by 22 in the championship. And Teddy looked at me and he goes, "We just watched the best team in the country." At that moment, that conference tournament time, that nobody could beat us. And then we run into Miami, and that kid from Miami goes for 31 in the second half.
Yeah,
It'll never happen again.
you guys
Right.
probably
Yep.
It was a good weekend in Kansas City. Iowa State lost first round. Whatever.
No.
Second round. Sorry.
We won the first round.
Yeah.
All right, we'll run through plays here. I got 5 plays for Jordan, 5 for me, and another big card for Small. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plays. One less than last week. So
All right.
I got me with Auburn +14.5, Ole Miss +2.5, Florida +1, Tulane -21.5, and Nebraska +17. Small, I got 8 plays again. Sparty +12.5, Nebraska +17, Baylor +12 in the hook, Georgia -15 in the hook, Iowa State +20, South Carolina +12.5, West Virginia plus 14 and Cal minus 12 in the hook. And Jordan 5 plays LSU Ole Miss over 67.5, LSU minus 2.5, Baylor plus 12.5, Washington minus 18 in the Duke Notre Dame lock over at 51. Okay. Hopefully you can build another good week there, Smooth, and I can get it going a little bit in college. But that'll do it for the appetizer menu here. We're going to go ahead and take a quick word from our sponsors at Revelton, and we'll be right back with the NFL.
At Revelton Distilling Company, everyone has become a part of the Revelton family. From the Taylors and their daughter who helped perfect their award-winning gins, to the team who installed Lucy, our 33-foot-tall custom-made still, right down to the local farms that provide our coveted corn, and even the cows on those farms who consume our mash byproduct. Want to see the farm to flask come to life? Now you can tour Lucy and find out where we take Iowa's harvest and transform it into our finest spirits. Choose between a 45-minute tour or find out even more by scheduling a VIP behind-the-scenes tour to get the taste of the full Revelton experience. You can visit them at 1400 West Clay Street in Osceola, Iowa, or find all of Revelton's award-winning spirits at any local grocery or spirits retailer.
Thanks again to our sponsors there at the Revelton Distilling Company. I got my spread of bottles behind me here. We'll have to get some shit down to you, Jordan.
Come on, man. Bring it on.
Again, we're back in season 4, episode 4, here with Justin, as always, our special guest here, Jordan Walker, Green Bay Packers apologist. And we are.
Hey, speaking of which, breaking news, David Bakhtiari just went on IR, out at least the next 4.
I don't think that's probably shocking.
I honestly, dude, it sucks. That surgery was in 2020. He might be done.
I think he's done in Green Bay. I think there's some bad feelings both ways.
And I'll be honest, I love him. He's for a while he was the best left tackle in football, but we've got a couple kids. Rasheed Walker's playing out of his mind. Zach Tom's playing out of his mind. We've got guys that can go play and obviously are a lot cheaper. He's making $22 a year. It's it's about time to cut him.
Well, he can get healthy with Rodgers and go play left tackle there next
year. Hey, it's Green Bay East, baby. Send him on.
Probably will happen. But recapping a little bit again last week real quick, I went 3-2. Justin went 5-3. In our circa, we went 3-2 again, sitting at 10-5 after our 5-0 start in week 1. Again, $1 million go to the winners in that, so hopefully we can keep that rolling. We're to the – we might as well just kick it off right here we're at. There's a Thursday night game. Your boys are playing. Last night they were 2-point dogs. You say you don't bet on your teams. I guaranteed Smooth this is going to make your card. You had me place a very large Packers division bet about 2 months before the season started, and I think it was plus 670.
It's looking okay.
I mean, you can be in the driver's seat to win tonight.
Yeah. I actually did touch this. I normally don't, but I knew I was doing the show, so I touched it. Now it's 1.5 and 2 is what I've been seeing, but I actually got them at 3.5 points on Monday. So I've got Packers plus 3.5. That was a huge line. I knew it was too much.
We will cheer for you at 3.5. Are you willing to put it at 2 on your card?
That's fine. I'll put it at 2. I'll put it at my money's at 3.5, but I'll put it 2 on the card.
So he's got 2 on the card. So you think they'll win the football game? Is what you're saying?
I think they'll win the game. I think now. Here's the difference in the game.
Look, one bad snap here, and he falls forward, and you lose by 1 on accident. You still cover.
That's fine. Yeah. Here's the deal, though. I think the lines are fun. They're fun. Dan Campbell's fun to root for, and I think they're tough nose and they're smash mouth. But since Good has taken over, he's been so defensive focused. We have 4 guys on our defensive line. Kenny Clark is a dude. He is just a monster, and I just don't think they're going to be able to run the ball like they've been doing. I got him at 3.5, and I like him, man. And it's Lambeau, man. And J Love coming off last week to come back. Them boys are believing. And like I said, I normally don't touch my guys, but I'm believing and I'm in. And 3.5 when I got it feels great. Even at 2, I'm okay with it. I think they win the game.
David Montgomery is back tonight. I saw he's going to play. It looks like so. That is, especially for the local people, big news. Actually, that's a big deal for them too. He's gonna. They featured him. Man, I think he had 20 carries the first 2 weeks. Yeah. So,
but I think Detroit's left tackle Decker, is he out? He's out, I think.
He could be.
If he is, Rashawn Gary, dude, I sent Ted a tweet the other day. Rashawn Gary coming off ACL 9 months ago surgery. He has the 108th most pass rushing snap, and he's the 6th best pass rusher in the NFL. He's getting home a third of the time. It's
good.
So I'm pretty pumped. I've actually got ribs at the house right now. Annie was just asking me what to set the Traeger out, so I'm going home after this to get some ribs going. So I'm ready.
That's funny. I just about played the Lions over 23.5 points scored, but I see from you'll probably disagree with me. I think for the Lions hitting their over, it actually might spell better for. I think if Green Bay wins, it's like 27-30.
Yeah, it's probably ugly.
It's like 20-17. For whatever reason, I think Detroit wins that game, and maybe I'm backwards in my thought process there, but I'm staying away from that. But I looked at that earlier. I told Small, but I'm just gonna stay away from this game. No, I won't. I'm not betting it.
No, you won't. You'll have something on it.
I haven't decided where I'm going yet.
Hey, I've got you a prop. Remember we talked about it? I got you a prop.
Well, yeah. Actually, I did.
This is a great prop, and this is something. Detroit has given up 25 catches and almost 300 yards to tight ends, okay, in 3 games.
Okay.
Luke Musgrave over 36.5 yards, lock. That kid, Jordan Love throws in the middle of the field more than Rodgers ever did. Rodgers didn't throw picks, but he was always outside the numbers, and it was great, and I loved him. But Matt LaFleur's offense, I mean, it's the Shanahan offense. It's predicated on play action, hit your tight end down the seam, make it Kittle, do that thing. 36.5.
All right.
It was great. So I like
you liked it at 38.5, and
I have it at 38.5, and I like it then. And I honestly might even touch it at 50. Like I might just go get it at 50.
DraftKings had it at 36.5 when I bet it,
Yeah.
so that's even better.
That's a good. I mean, 25 catches for 300 yards in 3 games to tight ends. Their safety play is just not good. So
I'll follow you on that. I
already did follow on that.
I don't have much opinion. Truthfully, I think Packers are a tad overrated.
He was talking all this junk before he got on there. I'm like, you better not be scared to say that shit.
I love it. Come on, give it to me.
I mean, here's my deal. Like, I need to see more from Love. So the completion percentage has to get better if the Packers are going to elevate to the next level. I like the roster as a whole. I was high on this Lions team's preseason. Last week, Ted knew I liked the Saints. I was all over the Saints, and I think Carr clearly going out affected that game drastically. Sure. And props to you guys taking advantage of it. Sometimes the ball bounce your way in that sense. I just need to see more from Love, honestly. And this, to me, tonight, if you go out on the big stage against the division rival, you want to make a step up. This is a game you got to go win.
It's a huge game. It was the game on the calendar when I looked, and I literally was like, either we're 1-2 or 2-1 going into that game. I didn't think we were going to be 3-0, and I was like, this is the game that goes, here I am. And I don't get me wrong. I think J Love can spin it. I think he's great. I think a lot of the stuff that he's missing, completion percentage wise, you're talking about, like it's just rhythm stuff. And Watson's been out, and like they're playing guys like Samori Toure, who was an undrafted guy out in Nebraska last year, and he's literally got the worst yards per route run in the NFL, and he's been playing 50% of the snaps. Watson's back tonight. Romeo Dobbs has been great. Aaron Jones is back. I think a lot of stuff's going to go well tonight. I just feel like. And like I said, man, that Lambeau magic, it just feels like it. I feel like I could see why you say they're overrated, because I honestly, when the season started, I told Ted, I was like, it's going to be a fun year. Like, because it's the first year where it's the unknown in so long. Like, we knew what we were getting with Favre. We knew we were getting Rodgers. Like, but I've been fine with the kid so far. I'll say this. He is not the reason we're losing games, and that feels great. Like, we got a good offensive line. We finally have a good defense. Joe Barry finally decided he knows how to play man. And it's like, okay, let's go out and just, hey, 10, go out there and just don't lose the game. Because that roster's good. Like you were saying, it's a good roster. Just don't lose.
Yeah. So, I don't have anything in this game, and I won't be playing it. So
all right. Well, that's enough time on this.
That's true.
So anyway, back to the Packers.
Well, I'll start us off here. I've missed Denver every week. We put them on our circuit card last week.
Denver, it was a close game last week. What did that end up?
They give up 7. Dude, I was cheering. Miami should have kicked that field goal and scored 73.
Dude, Small, you'll love this. Love comes back last week, scores a touchdown. I FaceTime Ted. I'm not watching any of the game. I FaceTime him. And I go, "Do you see that?" And he goes, "No, Denver just gave up 70." And I go, "Ted, they didn't give up 70." And he said, "They gave up 70. I flipped it on and I said, "Oh, whoa."
I was mad.
He was livid.
There was steam.
He said 70.
I started cheering for Miami. I'm like, score again. Go
for 80.
It was bad. We had him too in our content.
Oh, it was bad. I'm going back to the wall. I'm going back to the wall again.
For as bad as Denver looked, Miami might be for real. They look.
I don't know.
They're so fast, dude. Everywhere.
They are fast. And Waddle didn't even play, and they scored 7.
Yeah. He's good for 20. So that could have been 90.
I'm taking Denver -3.5 here because Sean Payton. This is a he got a embarrassing streak. There's a fraternity of coaches there, and he's been looked a certain way, and that is bad. And Chicago is not a good football team. If they don't cover 3.5 points in this game at Chicago, then they need to go 0-17. Then they need to sit everybody and just say, look, these aren't my guys. We're going to lose this year and start playing young guys and figure it out and trade everybody. Like Chris, who's doing our show in the background here, Spaghetti, he's a huge Broncos fan too. He's like, we got older guys, especially on defense. Start trade them all before the deadline and get third, fourth, fifth round picks and just reload them. Because if we're going to be giving up 70 defensively, let's be doing it with young guys, not vets we're paying a lot of money to.
You were talking about the Iowa game on the college picks. This might be as ugly as an Iowa game. This Broncos Bears game is going to be nasty.
And you know what? I think it's going to be a bunch of points scored too. These are two teams that should have good defense. It's going to be gross.
Yeah,
Fields might run for 200 against y'all.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, he might score 40. I'm going back to him. The Broncos 3.5.
I'm not. It didn't make my card, so I'm off of that game. My first play, I'm going to take Carolina +5 at home against Minnesota. We've seen just Minnesota backtrack here, right? We've talked about it quite a bit in terms of the regression from last season. The ball bounced their way. It's just not this year.
Well, it's not that big of a regression. They just won all those games.
Well, they went 11-0 in one-score games.
13. All their wins were 13. Were one-score wins, I think. Right? All 13 wins.
It might have been. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, it's just hard. And I think too. So last week, I had the Panthers and I lost with them, but they were catching 6.5 at Seattle. Well, you're telling me that now Minnesota laying 5, so almost the same on the road at Carolina. Like, the line doesn't make sense. That's saying that Minnesota is significantly better than Seattle, and I don't believe that. I just don't believe that. So this is an ugly play. No one wants anything to do with it, right? Someone's got to win. I know Minnesota's going to have their coming out party at some point, but maybe they do win this week. But that defense hasn't improved a lick.
So bad.
It's still bad. I'll take Carolina, and I don't care even if it's Bryce Young or whoever it is. It doesn't matter to me.
You get Andy Dalton, you get a vet if it's not him.
Yeah. So,
dude, can I be honest? I was talking to a guy, one of my buddies, Brett. He's a Minnesota fan here, and he was talking to me. They're 0 for so far, and he was like, "Man, this we were so good defensively so long under Zimmer," and I'm like, "Yeah, that's what he does." And he goes, and now we went straight. Kevin O'Connell went straight offense. We got Jefferson. We drafted Addison. We did this. And I go, this feels very Green Bay circa 2011, 2012. 2010, we won the Super Bowl. We have a top 10 defense. And then literally Ted Thompson was quoted as saying, we're just going to outscore people. I think Minnesota has thought, we've got Jefferson, Kirk slinging the rock. We're going to go out and score 40 every game. And when you don't score 20, you're not going to win because your defense is very bad. This feels very 2011, 2012 Packers where we had all the receivers, but we were losing games 45-43. You know what I mean? Like, that's what it feels like to me. And I love it because I freaking hate the Vikings. So I think that going away from Zimmer, I hated Zimmer because they always played us tough. Kevin O'Connell's great. He can call plays, but that defense is just, it's bad. It's bad. I like that 5. I'm not going to touch it, but I do like that.
Okay.
What do you got for us, Jordan?
I've got the Steelers -2.5 at Houston. I love Kenny Pickett. We talked about this when he was drafted, Ted. I like him. My wife's from Pittsburgh.
His wife's a Pittsburgh girl.
Yeah, I'm a huge Tomlin guy. I think Tomlin's as good as he is, and as much as people know about him, I think he's great. For him to handle the AB and Le'Veon Bell situation like he did, and you never heard anything.
That's not in the situation he handled. He finally has a quarterback. He didn't have a quarterback forever. He had big bum ass running around there for damn near 2 decades. Finally can have a team he can get behind with Pickett.
Yeah. I just feel like, first off, the Houston's not going to be able – TJ Watt is a problem. Nobody can block him. He's unbelievable. And I just think 2.5, I don't think it's enough. I think Steelers go down there and win by 10. I just think
the reason I like your play here, I don't have my card, but I kind of agree with you is, look, Stroud actually looks to be maybe we were wrong on him. He might be the guy, but they cannot run the football. And
I was a Stroud over young guy. You can vouch for me. I like Stroud a lot.
But Steelers don't have to blitz to confuse them. They're good enough with the guys they have to not do that, so they can sit these guys back. So I don't be shocked to see Stroud kind of have a little setback game here, and I still not going to think less of it because he has to do everything for them because they cannot. Their offensive line is so bad they cannot run the football.
I wouldn't be surprised if TJ doesn't get home 3 or 4 times this game. Like he's just like you said, their offensive line's so bad. I feel like every third down, if they don't chip him, he's getting there. Like, and that to me, he's worth the 3 points right there by himself.
Well, I like this fight.
Yeah.
The only thing that worries me is
the 2.5 line. It stinks.
Yeah, well, they're off back-to-back primetime games, so and they're off back-to-back primetime wins. So, but yeah, I do think that the Texans might be getting a hair too much love because of that win, which I had them last week over the Jags. That was nice. So, I got Commanders +8 at Philly. I'm gonna go back to them. Last week, Ted, we were texting throughout that game, and it was one of those plays that you'll recall. We remembered early, right? They go for it on 4th down or 4th and goal. And if they get that, I would.
It's a different game, and they play behind the.
It's a whole different game, man, and you just know it's going down to the wire. And they didn't get it. Then they got hard pressed, and Howell was kind of trying to push it downfield a little too much. And the Bills, that's just what they do, right? Eventually, if you turn it over against them, they make you pay, they blow you out. And the Bills have done that since the Allen era. Okay, no big deal. But I just don't – Philly, even on Monday night, they don't seem right. They don't look right. They don't pass the eye test to me. Laying a big number here in the division, I think 8's too much. I'll take my chances with Howe.
I'll be cheering for you here. I'm not going to play that, but I'll definitely be cheering for you in that. I'm going to go back. I did it last week too. I don't think Tennessee's any good. I think they're really bad. I think they have a really good coach that can scheme them well enough to keep them competitive in games and make it whatever. But I don't think he has enough to make it work. I think it's actually going to catch up to him this year. And hopefully that organization's smart enough to not get rid of him because he does not have the Joes. Right. He can get your X's and O's. He does not have the Joes. And I think this is finally a get right week for Cincy. Get another week under Joe a little bit too, get the ball out. And they can be good enough defensively. I actually think that Cincy's going to smack around a little bit. So I'm going to take Cincinnati -2 at Tennessee.
That's a tough one, man. I mean, obviously a bunch of I pull for the Titans. I live here, and they're like my AFC team. But I'm with you, dude. I don't think they're that. I think Vrabel's freaking great. I think if he gets fired, he'll be without a job for 30 seconds.
Oh, and that's why I think they know what they have in him. Yeah. Look, they got to get the quarterback position right, but it's not just there. I mean, Derrick Henry's getting a little older. That offensive line has aged.
Hopkins is a shell. Like, he's not himself. Like, Tannehill went on that run, man. He had a 2-year run in Tennessee where it was like, whoa, here he comes. Like, let's see what happens. But that window feels very shut to me.
He's a quarterback, though, that he's a guy that can run your system right when everything goes well. You have a great offensive
100%.
line. You can run the football.
To me, he's very Alex Smith. Like, that's what he feels like.
He's a play action, get the ball out to an open receiver guy.
Yeah. So, yeah. I like that. I've got I am just going to ride these guys until they prove me wrong. And when I mean ride, I mean go again. I'm fading them. I am going Chiefs -9.5 at New York Jets. I just don't think – I think the Jets – I don't care if the Chiefs score 10, they win because the Jets aren't going – they're bad. They're bad.
We talked about it. Yeah, we talked about it a little bit, and I'm with you. I'm thinking about making that play too. It's not going to make it hard, but I'm going to bet the Chiefs for sure.
I mean, I took them with Rodgers week 1. They obviously won the game, so that was great. But I've faded them the last couple, and it's working. I'm just going to ride it. I think this line – I thought this line was going to be 13 or 14, and it came out at 9.5 on Monday. I got it there. I don't know what it is right now, but I think it's 9.5. Yeah, I just think weather permitting, Mahomes, they're going to score 30, and I just don't see the Jets scoring 20.
I think they only need to score 20 to cover.
But that's what I'm saying. I think they get 30, and I think there's no way the Jets get 20. I'm on the Chiefs.
They'll be in all my teaser plays because they're definitely going to be covering.
Yeah.
I'm going to go afternoon here. I'm going to go against my team, the Raiders. I'm going to lay it with the Chargers.
So am I. That's making my card too.
Okay. The Raiders are banged up. Jimmy G's in concussion protocol right now. And quite frankly, the secondary for the Raiders is it's not very good. And point blank, I think Herbert is going to have a field day. And I know Eckler's out again this week, unfortunately. But
did they rule him out?
Yeah, they did. Maybe an hour or two ago.
First time I draft that guy, he never plays.
Yeah,
that's how it goes.
I just think it's a bad match. I think it's a bad matchup.
And look, the Denver win isn't looking very good for the Raiders.
No. The Denver win don't look good, and that loss last week on prime time. McDaniels is an absolute clown. I hope he's gone. And
I thought it was the funniest thing in the world when you guys hired him. I'm glad you guys got
I hated him.
crap.
But yeah, I think the Chargers win, and I think they score somewhere in the 30s. My only fear here is if I do like Aiden O'Connell. He lit it up, and now it's preseason, but he did look really good in preseason. So if somehow, he was out last week, but if somehow he plays, if it's Brian Hoyer, no chance.
I think they're gonna play Hoyer though. I bet it's Hoyer.
I think they are too. So that's why I'm pretty confident in laying it with.
It's 5.5 points. That's always a scary, stinky line. I think a little bit of that is Jimmy G might play still, and I don't really care. I still like the Chargers need to get.
I didn't take the game, but I did take Chargers minus 3.5 first half because I'm with you. I think Herbert goes out. I think they score 20 in the first half, and I think the Raiders play catch up. I didn't like the 5.5, but I like 3.5 first half.
Is that making your card?
Yeah, that's on mine.
Chargers minus 3.5. I like that.
And then I've got one more NFL play, and it terrifies me. And I was just talking about him. I don't want to take it, but I've already.
Are you going back to Packers yet? We're talking more Packers.
No. I don't want to take it, but I've already bet it, and I'm riding it. I am taking the Dolphins +3 at Buffalo. I am just going to ride with it. I don't think that Buffalo defense is as good. I think they're still trying to figure it out. I don't think they can run the ball. And I think as long as Tua is upright, the Dolphins are going to score. So I'm going to take them +3.
It just looks like a trap game to me.
It's terrifying.
I think you're probably right. I'm just going to stay away from this game because there's so much. You're going to learn a lot about both teams right now. Yeah. And if Miami comes out and wins this game by 10 points again, too, look out.
Yeah, they're for real.
They're for sure the favorites. Probably win the Super Bowl if they go 4-0 and beat Buffalo too.
Yeah, they will be.
Yeah, you go and beat Buffalo in Buffalo and you hang 70 on somebody. You should be getting some nods. But that game scares me, and it was a line that I didn't want to touch. But I always like to bet one scary line and just kind of ride the wave. I'm with you though. I think this game is either going to come down to a field goal and it's going to push, or they're going to win and it's going to be close, or lose and it's going to be close, or it's going to be Miami by 2 scores, and everybody's going to be like, "Oh, whoa!"
I do think if it's a blowout, I think Miami wins in a blowout.
Oh, I think if it's a big spread, it's Miami's way. I think if Buffalo wins, it's close, which is why I took 3.
All right, I like that.
Yeah, I'm staying away from it too.
It's so
good game to watch. Good game to watch. I'm going to take. I'm going to take the Patriots +6.5 at Dallas. I just think it's a bad matchup. Here with how the Patriots, defensively, right? They're really good. To me, that effort that they put together on that Sunday night against that Miami team, that to me now looks more and more impressive as it goes on. The Patriots were live in that game, even though Mac didn't even have a good game. I do hate the fact that Dallas obviously did lose last week, but I just think they're exposed. The Cardinals had no problem running it down their throat. Too many points. I think. I'm not a Mac guy by any means. I wish they would just turn it over to Zappy. I truly think the offense would be better with Zappy. But until that happens, I just think it's too many points for Belichick. 6.5. I think they control the clock. I would not be surprised if Patriots pulled the quote unquote upset here.
I would love that. I hate the Cowboys. I love to just fade them my whole life. I grew up north of Dallas, and I was a Packers fan, and they're just the worst. So my mom last week, she's a massive Cowboys fan, and about 20 seconds left in the game, I just sent her this emoji, the shrugged shoulders, and she said, "Don't talk to me all week." So she was pretty mad. I just, man, as much as McCarthy, man, I just can't trust the guy. You had Rodgers for a decade in his prime, and you get one. And I'm good with one Super Bowl, but you had Rodgers and the best receiving core in football for 5 years. I think that's pretty safe to say. And you get one because you can't stop anybody. And I love Dan Quinn, but at a certain point, you lose Diggs. You're playing 60% man. I don't even know who's starting on the other side. What are they going to do? And I don't think Mac has to go for 250, 300. I think they hold the ball. That's a big line. I didn't touch it. I would love for you to get the cover, but I would also love for that money line to hit.
I wonder, too, if Belichick will find a unique way here to get Zeke involved.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Dude, did you see they're honoring him? The Cowboys. They're honoring him pregame.
For what?
What did he do?
He didn't. What did he do?
He was 4th overall pick, drafted running back in the 1st round. Yeah, so he'll be somewhere else.
He's not even a Ring of Honor guy. Like
No, he might barely be like a top 7-8 rushing guy for them ever. Like he's not. I don't know. My mom's going and they're honoring him, and I'm like, what are we doing?
That makes no sense. He has to feel weird.
Yeah,
he has to feel weird. He's like, I don't know what you're honoring me for.
What did I do?
Thanks for paying me.
He got 18 touches last week. I didn't like that.
That's so wild. Like I can't. When I saw that, like, yeah, Jerry. Of course, Jerry. He's like, we're going to honor him pregame, and I'm like, oh well. I think even Cowboys fans are like, for what? Hold on, for what? But that's going to be funny.
It's funny.
What else you got, Small?
One more. I'm going to take the Rams at the Colts. It's kind of an under the radar game here.
It's on my card too. I love it.
We agree?
Yep.
Oh, sweet. Okay. So I think Richardson might get the nod here, and that's fine. I just think, this Rams team's kind of sneaky, and it played out. I thought a lot of things didn't bounce their way Monday night against the Bengals. You could even make the case that they actually kind of outplayed him.
I thought he got out coached, which is weird because it doesn't happen to McVay very often, and he's gotten beaten up in the media a little bit. So I actually think this game plan is going to be completely different. Now you're gonna get a rookie coach on this too. I
think the 4th and 2 in plus territory in the third quarter when he played the weird numbers and he ran like the flat game. It didn't feel like McVay. Like McVay's usually got 4th and 2. Like he'll take a shot. He had 1-and-1 on either side. He runs the flat route. The guy drops it, and I thought the whole game flipped right there. But I was just like, it felt like he was really safe, and he's never been that guy.
Sure.
Yeah.
So.
No, I love this play too. So that'll make our circuit card for sure.
Yeah.
And it's a pick 'em right now.
Yeah. It's a pick. Yeah, it's actually a pick. Yeah, that's right.
So
actually, Ted, throw me on that one too. I like that. I'll play that.
Yeah, I mean, we got a hogger there with that. I think this is an absolute spot play in this. I think the Rams aren't. I mean, I don't really know what they are yet. They're not as. I thought there's a chance to be horrible this year. They're not. They're not. They're going to hang in that 7 to 9 win area.
No, they're going to be sneaky. They get cut back a couple weeks next week.
Yeah.
Maybe?
Well,
they'll be that team week 15, 16, 17 that are ruining some postseason dreams.
For sure. I agree. Correct. So I got one play left too, and so the Saints haven't given up over 20 points in
16 games, 17 games.
It's nuts.
It was. I thought we were going to get it last week, the Packers, but I think it's they were the last 14 last year and the first 3 this year, so 17.
And the Bucs are kind of doing the same type of thing too. This might be a 9-6 football game. The over/under is 40.5. I'm taking the under in this game. I love the under in Bucs Saints. Yeah, it's going to be that kind of. Both teams want to just control the ball and play slow. Dennis Allen would love to play slow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Carr's out, right? The shoulder.
Yeah. So there's your problem. Is Jameis going to give him 2? There's how your over hits. Is if Jameis decides to give.
Well, Jameis is going to give him 2, or he's going to throw 5.
He might, and that's what he'll do. But I love the under in this game too. And then one game that just missed for me is the Cardinals are playing hard, man. Have they covered every game so far? I think they have. Obviously, they won outright.
Yeah.
I mean, they should have beat the Giants too.
They should have.
So they're 14.5-point dogs right now. It did not make my play for me, but I'm going to be putting them on some teaser plays, getting them up over 20 because and look, the Niners are really good, but they have the Cards playing hard right now, and it's a division game there. So I think there's a good chance they cover that. That's a ton of points.
I saw a tweet the other day, and it made me laugh, and now I'm realizing it's pretty true. It said the Cardinals are the Packers mentality without the talent. The Packers are so young, they're too dumb to quit. And he was like, the Cardinals are that. They're just not. They don't have the roster, but they have that mentality of we're young, we have nothing to play. They think they're going to win 3 games. Why not go win 3 of the first 5 and be see what we can do?
Did you see what Josh Dobbs did in their team store?
Oh yeah, they couldn't get his jersey. I remember
he recorded himself. He walked in. He's like, "Look, I'm gonna go buy some jerseys for my family." All right, pull it up here. Oh, the active player list. Let's go there. Not on there. He's your starting quarterback. You can't get his jersey.
Unbelievable. I think the Cardinals are one of those teams they just they don't care. They literally feel like they have nothing to play for. Everybody thought they were going 0-17, and they're just hey, we just want to beat the NFC front runner. Besides, with San Fran, it's if they go out and they even play San Fran tough this week, they're not going to make a run, but they're going to
have to win this year. That's the part. Well, first of all, they don't want to win either.
No, they want Caleb.
Lose a bunch of games and play good, and not have Caleb Williams demand a trade is what you need to have happen.
My only fear with them this week is now that they're on Shanahan's radar.
Yeah.
You know, if I just that's my only concern is like, you know, now you dove in and now you're on notice. And now there's not going to be any overlooking this week.
And that's why I did make my card.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think if they lose last week to Dallas, I'd probably run with them. I'd probably just take San Francisco to blow them out. But I literally think, I mean, I don't know. It's close for me, but I'm not going to touch that either.
No.
Another just miss is I think Seattle's gonna beat the Giants. Like I like it so much.
That's a pick 'em too right now, ain't it?
Ted, I lean that way myself. Actually, that one just missed for me.
Well, then that might make our circa plays. So
Yeah.
as always, we'll tweet out our circa plays and you listen to the podcast.
It looks like we got 2 for sure right now. I think we both agree on the Rams and the Chargers to make the circa.
Yeah.
So,
and I really like the Seahawks against the Giants.
Okay.
That will make us for it too. But cool. Well, I'll run through our plays here. I had 6 plays for Jordan, 5 for you, Justin.
Yeah.
That's it for you? Just 5?
That's it. I know.
I had 5 plays as well. Actually, Jordan had 6 plays plus his prop, which I like was Musgrave.
Yeah, I gotta get that in.
So we'll go through Jordan's plays here first. He had Green Bay tonight +2, Steelers -2.5, the Chiefs -9.5, Chargers -3.5 first half. I'm going to play that too. The Dolphins +3, and the Rams in a pick'em. And again, he had Luke Musgrave over 36.
I had it at 36. I think most books have it at 30. I have it at 38. I think most books have it at 36.
You're saying you don't care if it's 50, so you're loving it.
I literally, when I get home tonight, I'm going to look, and I know what I think with Watson on the outside. I think the safety is going to be splitting, and I think Musgrave's the real deal, so I'm going to take him wherever he is. I'm probably going to move it to 50 and see what the plus money is.
Cool. 5 plays for Justin. Carolina +5, Washington +8, the Chargers -5 in the hook, the Pats +6 in the hook, and the Rams in a pick'em. And I had 5 plays. I had the Rams in a pick'em, Chargers -5.5. Denver again, going back, had to wear the clothes and eat it after getting up 70 this week, -3.5. Cincinnati -2, and the Bucs and Saints under 40.5 points scored. Those are our plays for this week. Again, thanks for tuning in as always. Here with Three Beards Media, we're enjoying our time here. Thanks again to our sponsors at Revelton Distilling Company. And Jordan, thanks for joining us, buddy.
Thanks for having me, boys.
Yeah, we'll have to do this again. Maybe we'll have to do a little preview on the Longhorn Iowa State.
Well, let's either do it Longhorn Iowa State or Green Bay Denver. Let's do one of those weeks.
We do have one of those weeks coming up. Man, I'm not looking forward to either of those.
It's gonna be a fun year to be me.
I was looking forward to Denver Green Bay this year. I'm like, this is gonna be good.
Small, you'll love this for me to get out of here. He week 1 happened and he was tweeting me about Iowa State, and then he texted me outside of the tweet and goes, "Hey, dude, you don't need to come to the Ames this year." And I go, "Why?" And he goes, "You guys might win by 40." And I was like, "I really hope we do." So it was good. But hey, thank you boys for having me. I appreciate y'all and all your speakers, and let's have a good week.
Yeah, appreciate it, boys. As always, I'm Teddy Small. Thanks again to Jordan. Cash that ticket.